How fucking boring are we gamers, right? Um, Today I want to talk a little bit about a game that's been announced and gameplay that has been shown for this game. Uh, as you will see from the title, it is Marvel Midnight Suns, and people are really taking a lot of contention with this game, and I'm really having a hard time containing my feelings on this one. So I got a rant coming in me, and just okay. So so the first we heard of this game was a leak saying that Firaxis is working on a new Marvel IP, and immediately people were like, "Firaxis makes strategy games. This is going to be like an XCOM in the vein of Marvel." And they came out and said this is nothing like XCOM. This game is nothing like XCOM other than the fact that they're both squad-based strategy games. And people were like, "Ah, yeah, it's gonna be a reskinned XCOM." And they were like, "No, it's not." And they were like, "Ah," and I was one of these. I was like, "Yeah, I'll play a reskinned Marvel XCOM. Why the fuck not?" And we got gameplay the other day, and it shows off that this game uses cards in its mechanics, and people are not happy. And I'm just a bit like why? It seems like people wanted XCOM or were expecting something more like XCOM, and I'm like, they literally said this game is nothing like XCOM. But people are mad. People are like boycotting this game, saying, "Oh, this is shit. It's gonna be." People are saying pretty much everything about this. Like, let's look at some just comments on the Marvel Midnight Sun page, because this shit is straight up amusing, man. We gonna do some comments. We, we so here we go. All right, let's have a look at some of these comments. Um, we've got one positive comment at the top, promising. I'm excited. This looks fun and different. Hey, somebody that's open to something different. That's great, but not the majority. At least not the majority of the vocal comments. We've got the graphic is horrible. Totally different from the trailer. This is already 2021, so nothing to do with the gameplay. Just some incredibly dumb shit. Um, the card system should be a thing of the past. I don't even understand that. The card system is brand new. This is innovating. This is something that they've said is more inspired by more recent innovative games like Slay the Spire, which obviously was a roguelike. This is not a roguelike. You're not actually playing as any of your favorite characters. It's just a turn-based strategy game. It's like, what? Like, listen. I know a lot of people saw the trailer, me included, and was like, is this an action RPG? Action RPGs are cool, and they are, but it's not. It never was. There are many action RPGs you can play out there. I'm not going to say that there's plenty because I think there should be more. I think there are not enough genuinely quality, fun co-op hack and slash games out there. They seem to all be crap these days, with the exception of a real few quality ones like Diablo 3 and Grim Dawn as my top picks. But ragging on it for being a turn-based strategy game is fucking stupid. XCOM 2 is my favorite game, but this looks different. Yes, it is not XCOM. No cover system or free movement. It's not XCOM. You lost me with this. Is it so hard to ask for a Marvel free roam game like they do for the Lego Marvel games? Those exist. The Lego Marvel games are real. You can go and buy them right now and play them. If you are so bored that you just want to play the same game over and over. I am going to be taking the piss out of Marvel fans because it just seems like Marvel fans have the most bland tastes ever. Like, oh, this looks like that Slay the Spire game, That's Assassin, like one of those indie games, isn't it? It's got ideas and shit. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's got new stuff. Like a step backwards. Everything looks dialed down. One of the things I don't get is people just going, "Oh, it's a card game, so it must be casual." It's like, what? It's like putting poker in the same category as Magic the Gathering. It's a medium. It's not even a genre. It's a medium. Let's have a look at some of these. Like, nope, pass. Card games, yuck. This shot's garbage. People's comments on the graphics, I literally have nothing to say about the graphics. I don't care that much about graphics to begin with, and they look fine to me. We're super hyped for a Marvel XCOM game, but not super excited for combat being a random card draw. And why only 3 characters per mission? Why? This is an XCOM. Okay. I'm done. I'm done. So the crux of everything that annoys me about this, it feels like Marvel fans just really hate innovation. You know, I know Marvel fans like things that are safe and that they know, like, let's read the same stories about the same heroes for fucking decades, and then we want films that are just straight up adaptations of those stories. We don't want anything to be changed. You know, there's a new Spider-Man and he's black. This is fucked up. I can't handle this. That's Marvel fans. And you know, I won't go too much into that argument because that's a rabbit hole. And you know, I'll just get chewed out for talking about that. But I will talk about this. This is my zone of expertise. Games. Where the fuck is Dende gone? Dende is super mad about all this. He agrees with me completely, don't you, Den? So yeah, I think the crux of what annoys me about this is that Marvel fans just seem hostile to anything new. They've outright stated this game is mostly inspired by Slay the Spire and other games like it. Yeah, so they're saying this game has more in common with games like Slay the Spire and Griftlands, and hey, that's cool. Speaking personally, I don't tend to go towards card games. For example, one of my favorite board games is Mage Knight, where you are a super powerful mage knight who wanders around the land and use cards to move and attack and everything else. And I'm trying to make a board game. I would like to make this board game someday that's in a similar theme, but I don't like the idea of having to draw your actions from a deck. So I get that. I get that it might not be everyone's first pick for what they do. But this is different. This is something new. And I would understand if this was... Yeah, this isn't Phantasy Star Online 3 Card Revolution. This isn't an established series going from an action RPG to a card-based game. This is a brand new IP that we didn't know anything about. This is literally the first we've seen of the gameplay. The first we've seen. So you go in tabula rasa, blank slate, and you don't like it because it's not a different thing that company did before them. It reminds me of like discussions we've had, like for example with Bethesda. People getting mad at Bethesda because they just want Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and people at the company are like, there are hundreds of talented people at this company, hundreds of talented people, and they have ideas. Every single one of those people has ideas that they would love to see a game get made of. But people just want to see the same games over and over, and it's so fucking boring. And then people will complain. You look at games journalists complaining, oh, you know, where's all the innovation? You know, loads of third-person shooters, they're so boring. And then they'll fucking keep covering them. Call of Duty, Warzone, or whatever the fuck bland-ass generic game is getting released. And something new comes along. Something brand new IP, you know, based on Marvel. New ideas, new system. And it looks like they're doing something entirely new. This isn't Slay the Spire. This is a squad-based tactical card game. And we have no idea if it's going to be any good or not. I'm very interested to see what it's like. Because it looks like it's sort of taking a variation on something similar to Slay the Spire, but it's really not in the same ballpark. Slay the Spire is a roguelike. you build your deck as you're going through a run, you eventually lose all of that, reset, and go back to the start. This is more like a campaign, a story-based campaign that you're going to build your deck over. More like Pokemon TCG, the Game Boy game, which was hella fun. And like I've said before, I'm not a huge card guy, but I'm open to new experiences. If I hadn't been open to new experiences, I wouldn't have discovered Mage Knight. I wouldn't have discovered Slay the Spire. I wouldn't have discovered, God Hand uh, or Civ games, 4X games in general. I wouldn't have discovered XCOM. People are so quick to forget. XCOM, the remake, was new. A lot of new ideas, and people really didn't like that. A lot of hardcore XCOM fans, old school XCOM fans, still don't like that. But it was a good thing that we got that new thing. And now it's loved. But we're so quick to forget. We're so quick to forget. And now new IP, and this could be your new favorite thing. This could be the new genre. This could be the next roguelike. This could be the next Slay the Spire that people are then copying, and the next Darkest Dungeon that spawns a million clones. But people are writing it off already. And why? Because it's not XCOM. And they never said it was going to be XCOM. Because it has cards in. And this is not a call out, but I've heard people saying like card games, that's casual. What? What? I know that some card games are casual, but it's like putting Slay the Spire or Magic the Gathering in the same ballpark as poker. This is a genre. Rather, it's not a genre. This is a medium, not a genre. And there are certain things that you can say a medium imposes, but it's like people who go, "Oh, films are shitty. I only read books." It's like there are plenty of really intelligent, insightful films. The films do lend themselves more to action and quickly told stories than a book does. But to make such a sweeping generalization about something based on the medium it's using, we've still barely seen anything about this game. All we've seen a tiny bit of gameplay. We've seen that it seems like card costs have a sort of action cost, so we'll have energy type currency, similar to card games like Hearthstone or Slay the Spire. But the vitriol and the backlash, I just don't get at all. I just don't. Is it just a Marvel fan thing? Like, are Marvel fans just so safe in their choices that the idea of like, if this was a Magic TCG ripoff, then they'd be like, okay, I understand that. That's an established thing that's been around for decades. But Slay the Spire, that's indie, man. That's got ideas in it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Get it away. Ah, and this is somebody's idea. Somebody at Firaxis has been plugging away for years, going, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna work on this game that you want me to. I'm gonna work on these several projects, and then you're gonna let me make that game that I've been saying I really want to make, right? And some executive is there like, yep, next up, we're gonna let you make your game. And after years, they finally got to try this idea out. Maybe it was a case of, we got the Marvel IP. Do you mind like that idea you had for those systems, a card game? Mix it together with the Marvel stuff. I know there's some like this Fire Emblem. There's Fire Emblem ideas in it. You sure like kids these days? They don't like ideas. They like the things that they've seen already. And I don't even know where they're fucking going with this rant. But this was somebody's idea, and now we've got this backlash, and all it's saying to studio executives is, "You're absolutely right. No new ideas. Do not try to innovate in this industry. Just make. XCOM worked. XCOM was a risk, but we're never taking any more risks." It's just fucking depressing, honestly. It's fucking depressing. that fans are like this. Because here's the thing. We all love good gameplay. None of us can resist good gameplay. A lot of us, when we were younger, we'd look at some of these games that Nintendo came out. People in my school always ragged on Nintendo because it wasn't the shooter man games. But you sit down and you put your hands on a Nintendo game, and whether it's kiddie or not, you can't deny that shit. You can't deny the gameplay. When you sat down and played Pikmin, what did you say? What did you say? I want to play more. This is good. Damn it, I wish the day wasn't ending. I hate the fact that the day ends, that there's a time limit. But the time limit was there for a reason, wasn't it? That tension, that need to get back to the ship, that added something. And even though that it was a stress, a pressure, you hated it. Just like the timers in XCOM 2. You hated it, but it was there, and you kept playing because there was a pull to that. There was a reason. The gameplay designer had a vision. They said, this is what I want to make. And this gameplay decision to add the timers or whatever it is, it's going to enhance that vision of what I see in my head. But nobody's giving Marvel Midnight Suns a chance, or a lot of people aren't. Why? Because it has card. And what are you gonna do? So I'm just gonna end this here. I just had to get this rant out because God damn it. God damn it, gamers. You say you want new things, and then something new comes out and you're like, it's scary, I don't like it. It's different, it's new. And listen. If you play the game and you dislike it, fine. Or if you just don't really like card games, also fine. But don't ask for a game to be something it's not. And don't just be hostile towards things just because they're different. Be open to new experiences. Let developers make things. Because one of them might be the new cool thing that you end up loving. And that's about it. But anyway, I'll leave off here, and if I come up with anything else, I will continue. But thank you for listening to this rant. If you do like these kind of rants, I do post them occasionally. So please subscribe if you're into that kind of thing. Leave me a like or a comment if you've got any thoughts on this. I will engage with people, even those who I disagree with. Obviously, if you disagree with me, I've said it before, cool. Anyway, that's my rant. I want to do a quick rant today, and that's it. So have yourself a great day, and all of that shit. I have a Twitter and Facebook.